Hi, thank you for joining me for this unboxing and review of this Eachine E010S micro FPV racing quadcopter. This also comes with an 800 TBL CMOS camera and based on an F3 flight controller. So the box is pretty basic, feels very light. And this comes in 3 versions. You can get one compatible with an FR Sky receiver, or a DSM2 receiver, or a Fly Sky receiver. And this one is compatible with a FR Sky receiver, and we'll be binding it to a Taranis radio transmitter. So if we look in the box, this is the quad. Okay, comes with the camera, and the camera just mounts on double-sided adhesive tape on here. This 800 TBL camera, it's also got a little lens cap. The frame is a little bit flexible but quite strong and quite solid, so it should be quite durable. These 4-bladed props have a nice pitch on them but are quite hard. The motors are well cooled in the housing, and they're also plugged in on the FC board rather than soldered on, so this makes replacing a motor much quicker and much easier. Then it comes with this battery. This is a 3.7 volt 240 mAh 45C battery, just with the low C connection, and fits in here quite comfortably. So if we just plug the battery in, we'll see that we've got lights. Now the lights indicate on, and also you can choose between NTSC and PAL by pressing this little button over here, and you can also select and preset your 5.8 gigahertz channels by pressing the little button on the camera here. Let's just disconnect this. Also in the box, we get this USB charger for charging the battery. So the low C connection plugs into the back here. Plug this into a USB source and charge up the battery like that. It comes with a set of 4 spare propellers, so always good to have spare propellers. We get 2 rubber elastic bands, and this is to help secure the camera, which you can just hook on the side here. Pull over and secure the camera, and hook on the other side. We get a prop removal spanner for removing the props, and we get some spare double-sided adhesive tape for the camera. You can also use bigger batteries. This is a 260 mAh 35 to 70C battery that also fits in here. A little bit tight, but it does go in and hold in. Let's just put this battery back in here for now. If we have a look at this Fairy Bee conversion, You can also modify the battery bay by removing the 3 little slats underneath here and using a rubber band to secure a bigger size battery too. And hold it in position like that. If we look here and we weigh this with the battery on, it only comes in at 28 grams, so quite light. And if we compare this to the FPV version that has a slightly bigger camera on, it comes in at 29 grams. So not much of a difference, but still, you know, a good weight. You can also make a 3D printed camera mount. The camera can also just fit into a mount here, and you can mount it in a mount too. So this has a 40 channel VTX. The frame is a high quality ABS. The motors are 615 cordless motors, and to configure it, it's recommended to use Clean Flight. And also in the box we get a little camera spec sheet. This also has a 150-degree field of view in horizontal mode and 170-degree field of view in opposite mode, and tells you how to change the settings on the camera. And then we also get instructions on a piece of paper. Okay, very basic, giving you a few details, not very formative instructions. But on the Banggood site you can also download or see a more updated instruction manual. We'll just bind it now to a Tyrannus transmitter. To bind to the Tyrannus, on the FC board we've got a little button here in front of the camera that we need to press with the Tyrannus powered on. Then you can go to create a model setup. Now we've set it up to as a tiny whoop, and channel selected mode D8, channels 1 to 8, and then press enter and bind to bind. So to bind we need to hold down the button and connect the battery at the same time. And then it flashes green, and that is it showing bound.
RF signal critical.
Then disconnect the battery.
Telemetry lost.
Plug the battery in again to reboot.
Telemetry recovered.
Now it's bound, and you can see a solid blue light, but now it's losing telemetry. So then it binds.
Signal critical.
But if we put it on a level surface, make sure it's on a level surface, we've got a solid blue light underneath there. But you can also lose telemetry if it's too close to a Tyrannus transmitter. So it's also better to not fly it and not have it too close to the transmitter. So yes, once you've got it bound, you then also need to then connect to Clean Flight and make a note of which version of Clean Flight you're going to be using, because if you use a version that's not compatible with the firmware on here, you will need to upgrade the firmware to the version of Clean Flight. And here's the Microusb port, so you'll need to plug this in with a micro USB cable to a USB 2 cable to plug into the computer. Now I'll put a link in the description that is helpful in helping you to configure this on CleanFlight. And also remember, if you do have to do any upgrading or anything, back up the current settings first. There is also information on YouTube that tells you how to back up the CLI as well. So it's all been set up now. Let's see how it flies. Okay, so let's see how it flies and also how long the battery is going to last. Let's go.